Hi guys, welcome to this SamLabs tutorial video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create and use variables in SamBlockly. SamBlockly is a block-based programming interface to program your SAM blocks and allows you to build more advanced projects while you're exploring and learning about programming. So this project, we're going to get this light to flash a certain number of times based on a variable that we program. I'm going to be using my keyboard keys to program that variable and also to execute and get the light to flash. The first thing I need to do, and the first thing I'm going to test, is this light flashing. So I'm going to say when the space bar is pressed, it's going to trigger a loop that turns this light on and off. If you want to learn more about how to use loops, we have another great video that shows you that. But in this video, I'm just going to go through the motions and see if you can follow along. So I've got my loop, and what I want to put into that loop is to turn the light on, so set the light color to white, and then to turn the RGB light off. Now I also need to put a bit of time in between to slow down that flash. So I'm going to say I want to turn the light on, wait for half a second, and then turn the light off, and then wait for another half a second to then turn it back on again. So it's going to be flashing on and off at half a second intervals. So let me test this. It's currently set to repeat 10 times. As I mentioned, I want to control it with my own variable, but before I do that, let's test that the flash works. So I'm going to run the program, and when I press the space bar, you can see that that light is then flashing. Perfect. So far so good. That loop works. When I press the stop button, the light turns off and we're no longer running the project. So the first thing I need to do is to create the variable. You can create the variable by creating variable here. I've already created my variable called number of flashes, and I'm going to drag that into where it says repeat X number of times. So now it's going to repeat number of flashes times. But number of flashes currently isn't defined by anything, so we need to set up a way of defining it. And to do that, I'm going to be using my up key and my down key. And I'm going to say when my up key is pressed, I am going to set the number of flashes to a certain number. So I go into the math section here, and I'm going to say I want to set it to 3. And then I want to do another way of programming the variable, saying when I press the down arrow key, I want to set the number of flashes to 5. So essentially what's going to happen now when I run the program is I can define the variable by either pressing up or down. If when I press up, it's going to be 3, and when I press down, it's going to be 5. And when I press the space bar, it's going to flash that number of times. So let's test the project by running it. Press the run button, and I'm going to press the up arrow first, which means that this light is going to flash 1, 2, 3 times, and that's it. Perfect, it works. And then when I press the down arrow key and press the space bar to run the flash, you can see that it's flashing 5 times. Perfect. So the project works. Now, obviously, that's a really simple example of creating variables, defining variables, and using them in different applications. But variables are a key part of programming, and you can take it really far. So it's only up to you and your imagination how far you take this project. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you found this useful. We're going to be creating a series of little tips and tricks in these tutorial videos. So if you have any suggestions or ideas or anything that you would like to see be done either in SamSpace or SamBlockly, let us know in the comments below. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.